Hi there fellas, my name is Necrotheus and welcome to Arena Starcraft Arcade US and A. Today I will be listing the top 5 most fun builds to play with. Do keep in mind that this is purely opinion based with no regards to actual statistics. So please feel free to agree or disagree and comment what you think should or should not have been on this list. At number 5 we have the Reaver Corrupter combo. I know what a few of you are thinking.
Necrotheus, with this build all you do is A move, which literally takes no skill.
That's the point! The point of a fun build is to make it as easy and stress-free as possible while still making winning somewhat viable. Reavers are overpowered tanks, have reasonable AoE range, and are high damage dealers, capable of winning the majority of public games without any thought of strategy or the need for high APM. Though they can be kited pretty well, especially with stimmed units that have a vulture. They are also very vulnerable to air units since they can't attack air. That's where the Corruptors come in. The ability they have, which is called Corruptor Slime, severely slows enemy units and increases damage dealt, which makes it easier for the Reavers to rape the opposing player. I would have substituted Corruptors with a Honey Badger or an Aberration, but they can't attack air sadly. Ranking in at number 4 is the Dark Archon. The Dark Archon is arguably one of the best heroes in the entire game. Its Void Prism spell has the ability to stun entire armies for a rather long time. It's also extremely durable and can dish out a large amount of AoE damage. While already a beginner-friendly hero, it still retains the blink ability, which makes it a lot easier to contain that no-risk all-reward type of mindset. Even if it were stunned by an Overseer, you can recall it out with a support tower, which is super important if you're going on an all-out hero or elite build. While it is super OP, I'd say personally, the most satisfying part of this hero is its pre-morph Zeratul. Every single slash is very eargasming, and it's probably one of the most annoying things ever to fight, especially if you don't have any sort of reliable detection. Coming in at number 3 is the Lurker. This is so OP that not even a single ounce of it is on the humor scale. It outranges almost every single elite and hero, as well as having an absurd amount of starting damage. It also comes with 3 stuns, each lasting 3 seconds long, which again is absurd, but is so fun. It's currently labeled as being the strongest hero in the game, and this is probably the only unit that I actually have any evidence on, but sadly did not snapshot the people's responses. Just ask the majority of the player base and I'm sure they'll agree. In addition to that, you can't even see it on the map. It's absolutely outrageous. It is even more ridiculous when it is placed under units that are large and have the same color and tone as the Lurker, such as the Brutalisks. It is a bug and in need of a major nerf, so I'm sure developers will fix it in time. However, it is not as tanky as the Dark Archon, thankfully, but it's still tanky. Before it became such a strong and independent Lurker, its first stage is a lot tougher to handle. Each of the 300 killers are a whole margin weaker health-wise than their evolved form, so it is very difficult to handle for the inexperienced player. You can have the option to add a science vessel to your build because of its shield matrix, but it will delay your morph time considerably. Next up at number 2 is the High Templar Archon. This is currently one of the most used heroes in the meta. It has a feedback spell that, if I'm correct, can outrange all heroes and elites. It has force fields, which can be used to trap valuable targets and manipulate the enemy's positioning for a greater advantage. This can be followed up with the storm ability it possesses, which, depending on the level and hero damage, it can evaporate entire armies. Its previous form has all these abilities except one, the mind control spell. This one spell automatically puts it in first place among heroes. If used efficiently, it can control entire armies, which can be used to snipe heroes, elites, merc compounds, and command centers without having to expend any of your units. You could also recall this mind-controlled army and It is especially useful when recalling air units. And lastly, at number 1, we have the Truth Special. This composition comprises of a battlecruiser, science vessel, ravens, corruptors, overseers, a medi, and a vulture with the option of adding Vikings. Now I know that I'm not the first one to use this particular set, but I've never seen anyone use this regularly, so yeah, I'm calling it the Truth Special. This is really difficult to control, and I already emphasized that a fun build is simple and easy. Surprisingly, it actually is. This is mainly a tower camping build, so queuing up commands quick enough isn't really a problem since the enemy can't traverse the terrain fast enough to get to you. The only hard part about this, I'd say, is how fast you can get all the required elites at the start. The initial purchase for all of them is 2,900, with full upgrades costing 1,700, which what we're looking at is 4,600 minerals, not including Vikings or unit upgrades. So yeah, it is a pretty rough build. Once you've gotten the hang of it, however, it's really, and I mean really, fun. Compared to the units and builds before this one, Marine, Hero, and Mercenary upgrades are all set to adapt to whatever the situation is. When it comes to this build, however, all you really need is damage. The beginning of this build is meant to assassinate merc compounds, heroes, or elites, so damage is a definite necessity. To compensate for its health, a shield matrix and the Overseer's transfusion will keep that thing lasting forever! The science vessel will eventually run out of energy, so having it manually target the BC will keep the matrices flowing relatively quickly. And that should be it for today's video. I hope this helps you guys have a better understanding of some units and things you can do in Marine Arena. If you've never heard of this game but decided to stick around to the end of the video, many thanks, much wow. Links to the game will be down in the description below, and yeah, like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!